Anna was not just any settler, she was a widow with fierce determination. As she journeyed west with a group of pioneers, her heart was filled with mixed emotions. The wild landscapes promised new opportunities, but the treacherous path ahead threatened everything she had left. She clutched her small bundle tightly, which held only a few cherished belongings, a faded photograph of her late husband and a small, worn Bible. Each day brought new challenges. The dusty trail stretched endlessly before her, making the journey feel even longer. Sunlight burned down in the afternoons, making tempers flare among the travelers as wagon wheels creaked and groaned on the rugged terrain. Life on the trail was harsh, and every dawn brought uncertainty about what lay ahead. Among the challenges were the fears that haunted Anna at night, wild animals prowling nearby, the possibility of illness, and the specters of loss that lurked in shadows. Yet she held on to hope as tightly as she did her precious bundle. In every flickering campfire light, there were tales told of better days to come and whispers of lands rich with promise. But one fateful evening changed everything. As dusk settled over the land, a series of high-pitched howls pierced the air, an open invitation for danger. Panic coursed through the wagon train as wolves approached from the shadows. The chaos grew louder, parents shouted for their children, and horses whinnied in terror. In that frenzied moment of fear, Anna's heart raced as people scrambled to flee, forgetting supplies and leaving behind those who couldn't keep pace. With heavy breaths and trembling limbs, Anna struggled to hold on as the wagon train vanished into the distance, memories of her past life fading like smoke from a dying fire. Left behind on that desolate trail and feverish with worry, Anna felt a chilling cold seep into her bones. She braced herself against an ancient tree when suddenly dark forms loomed, the wolves. Her breath caught in her throat as they circled closer like shadows ready to pounce. Yet amidst this desperate scene appeared Tsula, a lone scout moving with grace and strength against the encroaching darkness. He confronted those fierce predators head-on, armed not only with weaponry but also courage woven into his very being. In that moment of turmoil, hope flickered at the edge of despair as Tsula's bravery shined brightly in her world turned upside down. Anna had no idea then that this would lead her on an unforeseen journey toward healing and self-discovery, not just from fear but into an entirely new life waiting patiently beyond survival. As twilight descended like a heavy curtain, the atmosphere within the wagon train shifted from hope to dread. The settlers had been traveling for weeks, navigating rough terrain and uncertain weather, but nothing prepared them for the sound of wolves howling in the distance. It began as a low growl, then escalated into a chilling chorus that echoed through the night, causing hearts to race and nerves to fray. Panic spread swiftly among the group. The once orderly wagons became a whirlwind of chaos. Voices rose in frantic shouts, mothers called for their children, and horses reared up in fright. The air was thick with fear as settlers scrambled to gather their belongings, abandoning all sense of order in their desperation to escape the looming threat. The flickering campfires cast long shadows, adding to the sense of impending doom. Anna found herself caught in this storm of confusion. She watched as families jostled against one another, faces etched with terror. The crackling of the fire was drowned out by frantic cries and the pounding of hooves on the hard-packed earth. Her heart raced as she tried to make sense of what was happening. She felt small and helpless in a world that had become chaotic. Suddenly, a deep bark echoed through the night, followed by a rush of movement outside the circle of light cast by the fires. The wolves had come closer, emboldened by the scent of fear that hung thick in the air. Panic turned to sheer terror as Anna realized the danger was not just a distant sound, it was now a tangible threat looming at the edge of their camp. In an instant, the wagon train's plan for safety unraveled. People began to scatter in every direction, abandoning their wagons, supplies, and even each other. Anna could hardly keep her feet beneath her as she stumbled amidst the disorder. She wanted to call out to those fleeing but found her voice lost among the cries for help. As she clung desperately to her bundle, she noticed that no one was looking back. One moment, she felt part of a community bound together by shared struggles. The next, she was alone on the outskirts of mayhem. Fear gripped her heart as realization dawned. She was being left behind. Just when hopelessness threatened to swallow her whole, a silhouette emerged from the darkness, a figure moving with purpose and strength against the chaos. Tsula, the brave Cherokee scout, stepped forward as if guided by an inner light. His presence seemed to cut through the panic like a knife through fog. In that moment, Anna's fear transformed once more into flickers of hope. She watched as Tsula approached the chaos with calm determination. As he faced down the encroaching wolves, she realized that someone still cared enough to fight for survival, igniting a spark deep within her soul that she thought had long extinguished. As the chaos of the wagon train faded into the distance, Anna found herself alone in an unforgiving wilderness. The adrenaline that had surged through her moments before began to wane, and with it came a wave of exhaustion. Fever gripped her body, making every breath feel heavy as she struggled to remain conscious. The howls of the wolves still echoed in her ears, a cruel reminder of the danger lurking nearby. Shadows danced in the flickering light from her abandoned campfire, and a sense of despair began to settle in her heart. Every rustle of leaves felt amplified, and she imagined the pack closing in on her, emboldened by the retreating settlers' fear. Anna leaned against a gnarled tree trunk, its rough bark grounding her in this horrifying reality. She closed her eyes for a moment, willing herself to stay awake, but fatigue overwhelmed her. Memories of happier times flooded her mind, a gentle laugh shared with her late husband or the warmth of their small home filled with love and laughter. How quickly those days seemed like a distant dream now. Shaking off intrusive thoughts, Anna tried to focus. She needed to fight for survival against both her weakening body and the imminent threat around her. Drawing on every ounce of strength she could muster, she pushed herself upright. The world around her swayed as if teasingly challenging her will to survive. In this terrifying solitude, fear crept deeper into Anna's heart. She couldn't let herself succumb to panic. She had to navigate through this darkness alone. Just then, another howl shattered the silence, closer this time, and she felt the chill sharpen within her bones. Her heart raced faster as dread washed over her like a cold tide. Anna took a deep breath and opened her eyes wide. "Stay awake," she whispered to herself like an incantation against despair. She pressed one hand against her feverish forehead while gripping tightly onto her small bundle with the other. It was all that remained of her past life, and in it lay remnants of hope, the photograph and Bible providing comfort amid terror. Despite feeling utterly alone, with shadows stretching toward her like grasping hands, something deep within surged with vitality, a primal instinct to live. As she stared into the darkening forest littered with whispered dangers, she became aware that even amidst abandonment, there might still be help on the horizon. Suddenly, movement at the edge of darkness pulled Anna's attention away from hopelessness. Something or someone was approaching. With what little remained of her strength, she strained to focus on what emerged from the night. It was Tsula, headed straight toward her through the chaotic remnants from before. In that moment of desperation and uncertainty, Anna prayed he would drive away both wolves and despair alike. As Anna struggled to keep her eyes trained on the approaching figure, she realized the shape was taking form, tall and confident, moving with an elegance that contrasted sharply with the chaos she had just endured. Tsula's strong silhouette stood against the backdrop of encroaching darkness, and for a moment, it felt like he was a hero pulled from a legend. Tsula was a Cherokee warrior known for his courage and keen instincts. His keen eyes scanned the surroundings with a practiced ease that spoke of many years spent in the wild. He had been tracking the movement of wolves when he heard the frantic howls and chaos of panic caused by the settlers. With each step forward, he felt urgency push him into action. He could not ignore what lay beyond those shadows. When he spotted Anna slumped against the gnarled tree, he immediately sensed her vulnerability, almost as if he could feel her fever pressing against his own skin. While others ran in fear, abandoning hope, Tsula's heart propelled him to face potential danger head-on. Wisps of instinct guided him. This woman needed help, and he would do everything possible to provide it. Moving swiftly but silently through the underbrush, Tsula approached Anna without hesitation. His eyes, sharp and alert, never lost their focus on both her condition and the surrounding treachery. Though unsure of what had happened in this unsettling scene, a train once filled with vibrance turned into a haunting image. He knew that time was short. "Stay calm," Tsula spoke softly yet firmly, his voice steady like a beacon in the dark. As Anna again attempted to gain clarity in her swimming thoughts, Tsula knelt beside her without fear of what lurked in shadows, alive with sounds of hungry wolves still echoing nearby. His calm demeanor seemed to soothe some of Anna's fears at that moment, a contrast to her feverish thoughts. He began assessing her condition quickly. His fingers reached for her forehead to check for warmth while taking inventory of what few belongings she clutched tightly. She sensed strength radiating from him even as uncertainty loomed around them. With a flicker of connection shared in their gaze, Tsula rose to his feet, tall and resolute like a guardian spirit against fading hope. "I will protect you," he vowed quietly, words filled with genuine promise that anchored Anna's heart more than she realized. As they moved away from those chilling woods together, the distant growls growing faint behind them, Anna felt something shift within her spirit. Surrounded by uncertainty still present from before, the aftermath of terror now coupled with newfound companionship, she couldn't help but believe that maybe she was not so completely alone after all. As Tsula and Anna moved away from the gnarled tree, the tension of the moment hung thick in the air. The distant howls of the wolves still echoed ominously, reminding them that danger was close at hand. Tsula's instincts kicked into high gear. He needed to protect Anna and confront the looming threat head-on. With a steady gaze fixed on the shadows beyond, Tsula led Anna to a small clearing where he could better defend them. His heart raced, but his mind remained sharp. He had faced predators many times before, yet each encounter brought its own unique blend of fear and adrenaline. In this moment, he felt acutely aware of the weight of his responsibility, not just for himself, but for Anna's life as well. "Stay here," he instructed softly, pointing to a low shrub where Anna could crouch safely. With a nod, she sank down, her heart pounding as she watched him prepare for battle. Tsula moved silently through the underbrush, every step calculated to avoid making noise that might alert the wolves. He quickly scanned the area for anything he could use as a weapon. A sturdy branch lay nearby. He picked it up and wielded it like a spear. Though it was only a makeshift weapon against the ferocity of wild wolves, Tsula's confidence shone bright. He had trained since childhood in the art of survival, studying animal behavior and mastering combat techniques passed down through generations. With every fiber of his being focused on what lay ahead, Tsula took a deep breath. The howls grew louder, signaling that the pack was picking up their pace toward his position and towards Anna, who remained hidden behind the brush. Just then, two glowing eyes pierced through the darkness, the first glimpse of the predators closing in. Without faltering, Tsula stepped into view, brandishing his branch and shouting loudly to assert his dominance. "Back away," he roared, his voice rich with authority and courage. The sound reverberated through the clearing and startled both wolves and Anna alike. For a brief moment, they hesitated. Tsula kept his posture wide and threatening while slowly circling to make himself appear larger than life. With each step back they took in awe of this brave warrior confronting them, he regained ground over their initial advantage. The wolves shared uncertain glances with one another before instinctively retreating into the shadows from whence they came. One by one, they slinked away reluctantly, a victory etched in Tsula's heart as he felt relief wash over him like cool rain after an oppressive drought. Once assured that the immediate threat had passed, Tsula turned back toward Anna, breathing heavily but victorious. As she emerged from her hiding spot, hope flickered brightly in her eyes, a testament not only to her survival but also to her newfound admiration for this man who faced danger without hesitation. The bond between them began to solidify. Together they would overcome whatever lay ahead. With the danger of the wolves now behind them, Tsula took Anna's hand gently, encouraging her to rise from her makeshift shelter. She still felt feverish and weak, but the warmth emanating from Tsula provided a comforting presence as he helped her get her bearings. "We must go to my valley," he said softly. "It is safe there." Anna could scarcely imagine what lay ahead as Tsula supported her and began leading her through the intricate web of trees. Each step brought a sense of crossing into another realm, a stark contrast to the terror she had just endured. As they journeyed deeper into the forest, something about Tsula's quiet strength reassured her. She felt that he was guiding not just her footsteps but also her spirit toward a place of healing. After some time, they arrived at the entrance to a hidden valley, the sunlight spilling in like a warm blanket over the lush greenery. Anna gasped as she took in the sight, a serene, untouched paradise nestled amidst towering hills. Colorful wildflowers dotted the landscape, swaying gently in the breeze, and the sweet scent of damp earth hung in the air. A gentle stream meandered through the heart of the valley, glimmering like diamonds in the soft afternoon light. "Welcome to my home," Tsula said, his voice filled with pride as he gestured around him. Anna could scarcely believe her eyes. This was a world so unlike the chaotic journey she had experienced with the wagon train. Here, there were no fears or panic, only peace and beauty. It was as if every worry she had carried on her shoulders melted away in this tranquil haven. Tsula continued, leading her to a small pool fed by a natural spring, steam rising delicately above its surface like whispers of comfort. "This will help you heal," he assured her, pointing to the crystal-clear water. Anna felt drawn to it as if the very essence of life thrummed within its depths. Settling by the edge, she dipped her fingers into the soothing waters. A sense of calm washed over her body, dulling the remnants of fever and igniting glimmers of hope deep within her heart. She glanced up at Tsula, whose eyes sparkled with kindness and sincerity. "Do you feel it? The harmony of this place?" he asked softly, watching her with keen interest. Anna nodded quietly, overwhelmed by the beauty around them and the connection growing between them. In this hidden valley where nature cradled them both, Anna sensed that she had stepped into a new chapter of her life, one filled with potential and promise far beyond mere survival. As they sat together near the sacred springs, she couldn't help but think that this might be where she finally discovers her place in the world once more. In the days that followed her arrival at Tsula's hidden valley, Anna began to experience a profound transformation. The quiet beauty of her surroundings wrapped around her like a warm embrace, gradually easing the weight of fear and loss she had carried for so long. The sacred springs bubbled gently, their waters shimmering in the sunlight, inviting her to take part in their healing powers. Each morning, Anna would awaken to the sound of birds singing harmoniously in the trees, their melodies intertwining like threads of hope through the cool morning air. She would sit by the edge of the spring, letting the gentle mist caress her skin as she dipped her hands into the crystal-clear water. The sensation was refreshing and invigorating, sparking a newfound energy within her. As she drank from the spring, Anna felt a warmth spread through her, one that soothed not only her fevered body but also her troubled spirit. She began to notice the vibrant colors of wildflowers blooming around her, each petal representing a piece of life and resilience. They seemed to whisper encouragement, urging her to let go of sorrow and embrace the promise of a brighter future. Tsula remained by her side during this time, offering support and tending to her needs with an attentive kindness that reassured her. He shared stories of his people and their deep connection to nature, reinforcing the harmonious balance that existed in this valley. Anna felt herself captivated by these tales, realizing how much strength could be found in understanding and honoring one's roots. With every passing day, treasured moments spent beside the sacred spring allowed Anna to reflect on her life. Her past struggles faded slightly, transformed into lessons that helped shape who she was becoming. She began to practice mindfulness, finding peace in simple things like the sound of rustling leaves or the feel of cool grass beneath her feet. As she healed, Tsula taught her about courage and honor, values that resonated deeply with Anna. In these discussions, she found herself reclaiming parts of her identity that had been lost amidst grief and despair. She learned that survival was not just about enduring hardship, it involved embracing joy and connection with those around her. Slowly but surely, the shadows of loneliness that once haunted her dissipated. Anna's laughter returned, bubbling up like the waters of the spring, light and bright against the serene backdrop of nature. Each day felt like a step further away from the chaos of her past and closer to a new beginning. In this hidden valley, Anna began to truly heal. The sacred springs not only nourished her body but also coaxed her heart back to life. Surrounded by beauty and guided by Tsula's wisdom, she uncovered a sense of belonging she thought was lost forever, an awakening that promised new adventures and a life filled with meaning once again. As Anna settled into the rhythms of life in Tsula's hidden valley, she became more curious about the ways of his people. Tsula noticed her interest and began to share with her the language of honor that was deeply rooted in Cherokee culture. Each evening, as the sun dipped below the horizon and painted the sky in hues of orange and purple, he would sit with her by the sacred springs to teach her words that held significance, not just as sounds but as expressions of respect and connection. Language is a bridge, Tsula explained one night, his voice soft yet firm. It connects our hearts and minds. To speak it is to honor those who came before us. Anna listened intently, captivated by his passion and the depth of meaning behind each word. She practiced diligently, sometimes stumbling over unfamiliar sounds but always encouraged by Tsula's patient smile. As they exchanged lessons, a beautiful cultural exchange blossomed between them. Tsula shared stories about his ancestors and their relationship with nature. How every tree, river, and mountain had a spirit deserving of respect. He taught her about the importance of community and kinship, illustrating how their lives were intertwined like threads in a tapestry. In turn, Anna shared stories from her past life. A world filled with settlers striving for survival amid uncertainty. She spoke of her late husband and the dreams they once had together. Tsula listened quietly, understanding that these memories were both painful and precious for Anna. Through their conversations, he offered her a way to honor her past, while also encouraging her to embrace her future. The bond between them deepened with each passing day. As Anna learned more about the Cherokee language, she began to recognize its beauty, the way it flowed like water over smooth stones. Words that once felt foreign grew familiar, wrapping around her heart like a warm blanket. Each new phrase she mastered brought a sense of accomplishment, filling her with confidence that she hadn't felt in years. One afternoon, while wandering through the vibrant wildflowers that adorned the valley floor, Anna spontaneously spoke to Tsula in Cherokee. "I feel alive here." The joy on his face lit up her heart more than any words could express. He responded in kind, using the same language to convey feelings of happiness at seeing her flourish. Their connection continued to strengthen as they worked side by side in harmony with nature, planting seeds in the earth or gathering herbs from nearby meadows. In these moments of shared purpose, Anna felt more integrated into this world than ever before. As days turned into weeks, Anna realized that she was not only learning about Tsula's culture but also rediscovering herself in the process. The wounds from her past began to heal as she found solace in this new life shaped by both love and understanding, an unexpected journey woven together by two souls seeking belonging amidst the vastness of nature. As the days turned into weeks in Tsula's hidden valley, Anna found herself caught in a web of emotions that often left her feeling conflicted. On one hand, she cherished the tranquility and beauty of her new surroundings, where the laughter of children playing nearby and the sounds of nature brought her a sense of peace she had longed for. On the other hand, memories of her past life weighed heavily on her heart. At times, she could hear echoes of her late husband's laughter, a sound that once filled their home with warmth. The dreams they had shared felt so distant as she embraced this new reality that was gradually reshaping her identity. Sitting by the sacred springs, glistening under the soft sunlight, Anna often reflected on what home truly meant to her. Was it the small cabin filled with fond memories, or this vast, tranquil valley where she felt a growing sense of belonging? Learning Tsula's language and culture opened her eyes to a different way of life, one that celebrated nature and interconnectedness with the earth. But as vibrant as her experiences became in this hidden paradise, there were moments when she questioned if she was betraying her past by moving forward. How could she let go of the life she once knew? Could she fully embrace this new journey alongside Tsula without losing her connection to her previous world? One evening, as the golden sun began to set, Anna shared her internal struggle with Tsula. They sat together on a rock beside the pool where they often spent time, surrounded by the sounds of crickets and rustling leaves. "Sometimes I feel torn between two lives," she confessed, gazing at the water reflecting the fading light. I don't want to forget what I've lost, but I also want to be here with you. Tsula listened attentively, understanding the weight of her words. Remember that honoring your past does not mean you must carry its burden forever, he replied gently. Home is not solely a place, it is also found within your heart and the bonds you create. His soothing tone resonated deeply within Anna, helping to ignite an understanding that perhaps she could weave the threads of her past with the fabric of her present. With Tsula's guidance, she could honor her memories while also welcoming new experiences. It became clear that healing did not require forgetting, rather, it involved embracing both aspects of her identity as they coexisted. In the days that followed, Anna began to view home through a broader lens, a tapestry woven from love, loss, and newfound connections. Each sunrise signaled a fresh opportunity for growth and reflection. The duality within her slowly transformed into harmony, allowing her to embrace both her past and present as she continued her journey in a land filled with promise and hope alongside Tsula. Through this internal exploration, Anna discovered that sometimes home is not just where we come from but also where we choose to belong. As the days unfolded in Tsula's hidden valley, Anna felt a deeper sense of belonging blossom within her heart. The tranquil beauty that surrounded her was no longer just a refuge from her chaotic past, it had transformed into a sanctuary where she could envision a future filled with promise and love. Each morning as she greeted the sun rising over the hills, a feeling of acceptance washed over her, a profound realization that she was ready to forge a new path. The fresh start she had longed for began to take root within her soul. Anna spent countless hours wandering the lush valley, engaging all her senses. She marveled at the vibrant colors of wildflowers swaying gently in the breeze and the soothing sounds of the sacred springs bubbling nearby. Here, in this peaceful environment, she felt more alive than ever before, as if each moment echoed with affirmations of hope and possibility. With each passing day spent alongside Tsula, their bond deepened. He taught her how to fish in the stream and identify edible herbs in the meadows, showing her the ways of his people and how to live harmoniously with nature. Despite their different backgrounds, they cultivated a partnership built on mutual respect and shared dreams. The way Tsula looked at her, filled with warmth and understanding, reassured Anna that this was not merely a fleeting moment, it was a profound connection destined to last. One evening, as they sat by the edge of the sacred spring under a blanket of stars, Anna turned to Tsula with newfound resolve. I want to stay here, she declared, her voice steady and filled with determination. This valley feels like home. I can't forget my past, but I want to embrace this new life with you. Tsula smiled, his eyes sparkling with approval as he took her hand in his. Your heart knows where it needs to be, he replied softly. This land is welcoming you not just as a visitor, but as part of its spirit. His affirmation lit a fire in Anna's heart, a fire that promised warmth and security in this new chapter of her life. Accepting her decision felt liberating. The fears that once haunted her faded like shadows at dawn. Instead of feeling torn between two worlds, Anna found herself standing confidently at the intersection where love met healing. With Tsula beside her, she began to weave together the strands of who she once was and who she aspired to become. As days turned into weeks, Anna embraced every lesson learned within the valley, a blend of her past experiences and newfound wisdom from Tsula's teachings. This acceptance marked not just an ending but the beginning of an empowered journey rich with love and connectivity, a chance to craft a future that promised adventure amidst nature's beauty. In choosing to stay, Anna found not only acceptance but also an awakening that solidified her identity alongside Tsula, a decision grounded in hope for what lay ahead as they embarked on their journey together as partners bound by fate. As Anna stood hand in hand with Tsula, gazing out over the breathtaking landscape of the hidden valley, she felt a sense of completion wash over her. This journey that had begun in fear and abandonment had transformed into a powerful testament to resilience and love. The vibrant colors of the valley, the lush greens and brilliant wildflowers reflected the richness of her new life, a life intertwined with Tsula's culture and spirit. In the time they shared, Anna discovered that healing comes in unexpected forms. At first, she was merely surviving, grappling with pain and loss, but now she was thriving. The sacred springs that had once soothed her fevered body also nurtured her spirit, allowing her to shed old layers of grief and embrace a renewed identity. She had learned that it was possible to honor her past while forging new paths ahead, blending the essence of who she was with who she aspired to be. The bond between Anna and Tsula blossomed into something beautiful, a partnership rooted in mutual respect and understanding. Their shared moments, whether fishing by the stream or planting seeds in fertile soil, spoke volumes of their deepening connection. Each day brought new opportunities for discovery. Together, they celebrated the melding of their cultures, learning from one another in a way that transcended words. Anna often reflected on what home truly meant. In her heart, she had come to understand that home could be both a physical place and an emotional sanctuary. It was in the laughter they shared, the stories exchanged under starlit skies, and the warmth found within each other's presence. This valley, once a mere refuge, had transformed into a haven where love flourished. As seasons changed, so did Anna's perspective on life. She no longer felt like an outsider grasping for acceptance. Instead, she embraced her place within this vibrant tapestry woven by nature and community. The fears that had once haunted her faded into distant memories as hope took root. With each sunrise over the hills, a newfound sense of purpose awakened within her. Anna realized that she was no longer just a widow clinging to remnants of sorrow. She was a woman embracing love, resilience, and cultural exchange as she built a life filled with promise alongside Tsula. As they walked hand in hand through fields of wildflowers, Anna understood that her journey had come full circle, from abandonment to belonging. They were partners bound not only by love but also by shared dreams for their future, a life enriched by both their histories and their aspirations. Here, in this beautiful valley filled with life and possibility, Anna found where she truly belonged, a place where she could create new memories and honor the past while stepping boldly into the future.